Good morning, students. Myself, Subodh sir. Today I welcome all the students of class 8. And in history, we are going to discuss chapter 2. And what is the chapter 2? Chapter 2 is ruling the countryside. Countryside means the village areas. Before I start the discussion of these chapters, I would like to recap few things to you because, for example, you might have been remembering the date 1757. What happened in 1757? In 1757, the Battle of Plassey was fought. The Battle of Plassey was fought. And what was the result of the Battle of Plassey? In this Battle of Plassey, the Nawab of Bengal was defeated. Among the many threats to the British East India Company, the one was that of the Nawab of Bengal also. He had also threat from the Mughal Emperor. He had also threat from the Maratha. He had also threat from the Tipu Sultans, means Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultans. But this time, the one of the most important power, he was defeated, means Bengal was defeated. Then you might have been remembering 1764. These two are the important battles. What happened in 1764? It was the Battle of Buxar. It was the Battle of Plassey. It was Battle of Buxar. What happened in the Battle of Buxar? In the Battle of Buxar, the combined army of Nawab of Bengal, Nawab of Awadh and the Mughal Emperor, the three threats, which are the three threats to the British East India Company, especially in the North India. It was the Nawab of Bengal, Bengal means Bangladesh include करके, नवाब of अवध पूरा लखनऊ का इलाका means पूरा यूपी ले सकते हैं, नवाब of and the Mughal Emperor. These three combined power was defeated. For a short note, we can also include 1761. It was the third Battle of Panipat. Third Battle of Panipat, in which one of the threat power from the South India, it was defeated. Not actually South, it was the West India, means Maratha is the Maharashtra, it was the West India. We can say the South also because it is the south of the Tropic of Cancer, and Tropic of Cancer divides India into two equal parts. One is the northern part, another is the southern part. In that case, we can say that is the southern India, but actually it's southern West India. It was one of the threats that was defeated, but it was not defeated by the British. It was defeated by some other power. And who was the some other powers? It was the Ahmed Shah Abdali, who was the ruler from the Afghanistan. So we have to take these two battles. What what happened? These two battles. What was the result of 1764? It is known that Britishers won the battle. When Britishers won the battles, these three powers, they were forced to sign a treaty, and that treaty is called Treaty of Allahabad. Treaty of Allahabad was signed. After this battle, Treaty of Allahabad was signed on August 1765. Treaty of Allahabad was signed in 1765. And what were the terms and conditions of Treaty of Allahabad? The most important among them that the Mughal emperor granted the Diwani right to the British East India Company. Diwani rights means right to collect taxes. Right to collect taxes. Diwani right of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Bengal, Bihar and Odisha, it came to be known as the Bengal Presidency later. दीवानी राइट का मतलब हो गया दे हैव द राइट टू कलेक्ट द लैंड रेवेन्यू. अब बीच में एक चेंजेस आ गए. द ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वेयर विलिंग टू गेट मोर रेवेन्यू, परचेज द इंडियंस raw materials at the maximum possible low rate, exporting it to Britain to meet the industrial demand, and from there bringing the finished goods and selling it at the higher prices. Clear है? यहाँ से raw materials and what basically they were engaged in the raw materials. The raw materials was cotton and silk. They were exporting it to England, meeting their demands, and after finishing they were bringing it. While they were exporting the cotton, one more items came into existence whose demand increased dramatically, which would be discussed in this chapter later on. It was the indigo. What was the importance of indigo? It was giving the rich blue colors to the clothes. When you purchase the white clothes or any clothes from the market, see the texture and lightning, and after few months see their lightning, चमक कितनी रह जाती है. It is very evident that you can easily identify the new uniform and the old uniforms because their glazing and shining differ. When it is coming, it is being treated with the indigo. That's why the demand for indigo had increased in the Britain, so they were also trying, other than the cotton, other than the jute, they were, indigo is also theirs. They were also producing, that later on we discussed, wheat. And why they were producing wheat? Not to process and bring over here. Actually wheat was required to feed the urban population of Britain. कि गांव से सारे भाग के कहाँ आ गए थे? शहर में आ गए, सिटी में आ गए. इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन हो गया था. Due to industrialization, people were working in the industries. They were living in the clustered area. मीन्स जो झुग्गी झोपड़ी का ट्रेंड है, समझिए कि उसी टाइम से स्टार्ट. तो उनको फूड ही चाहिए. From where the food will come? So it will become easy to produce in the colony and bring the wheat to the Britons. That we will discuss later. First, in 1765, what happens? They got the Diwani rights. They were not interested in the administration. The period from 1765 to 1772. It is known as the dual government in Bengal. What does the dual government mean? Dual government means the government of two rulers. Bengal में which were the two rulers? In Bengal, the two rulers were, one was the Nawab itself and another one was the British East India Company. One Nawab, another British East India Company, and work were divided. अब यहाँ से जरा सोचना. All the revenue collection right, दीवानी राइट इसको बोलते हैं. It just came to the, किसके पास आ गया? It came to the British East India Company. And moreover, police and the judges system also came indirectly in the hand of the British East India Company. And Nawab were left only with the administrative work, but no source of revenue. नवाब को सारा काम करना है, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव वर्क करना है, मेंटेनेंस करना है, बट उनके पास रेवेन्यू नहीं था, पैसा नहीं था, पैसा बिल्कुल नहीं था, ऐसा बात नहीं था. They were being given a very small amount of money by the Britishers, in which it was difficult for them to rule it. See the conditions of the peoples of Bengal between these 7 years, 1765 to 1772. Their grievances were not being listened. If they put their grievances, because judges were under the control of the British East India Company, so they were manipulating it. Rulers did not have sufficient revenue to finalize or finance the farmers when they are in need. जब उनको नीड है वो फाइनेंस नहीं कर सकते. And Britishers on the other hand, they had the right to collect the revenue, but actually no administrative responsibility. एक के पास पैसा है लेकिन बाकी से मतलब नहीं, काम से मतलब नहीं है. एक को बाकी का काम करना है लेकिन पैसा नहीं. Do you think this may continue, this may happen? नहीं हो सकता है. It means what would be the conditions? Condition would be drastically worship. It was very bad conditions in the Bengal, and it is also known as the dual government in the Bengal. And what was the period of dual government? The period of dual government in Bengal was from 1765 to 1772. Now changes here. What changes? In 1773, Hastings become the first governor general. दो वर्ड बोलूंगा. One is governor general. दूसरा कहीं भी हिस्ट्री में मिल रहा है गवर्नर जनरल, इट मीन्स वी आर टॉकिंग द पीरियड फ्रॉम 1773 to 1857. And if the word viceroy is coming, it means it is from 1858 to 1947. अंतर क्या है? This period 1773 to 1857, it was ruled by the British East India Company. 1773 to 1857 ये जो पीरियड था, ये रूल था किसके द्वारा? इट वॉज रूल्ड बाय द ब्रिटिश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, एंड फ्रॉम दिस वन इट वॉज द ब्रिटिश क्राउन. बेटर सो, or we can say ब्रिटिश क्राउन. वहां के क्राउन का रूल आ गया. इज इट क्लियर? इट मीन्स टू वर्ड्स. दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव गिवन द Warren Hastings was the first Governor General who was appointed in 1773. What happened after that one? It means he abolished the dual governments. It means if you are asked who abolished the dual government, Warren Hastings abolished the dual government in Bengal. Now they required a regular source of income. In 1787, Cornwallis became the Governor General. He was in queue. He was the third Governor General. Cornwallis. He was the third Governor General. He made a change. Before it, the right to collect the land revenue, it was given to the highest bidder. Right to collect revenue was given to the highest bidder. Bidder बोलते बोली लगाने वाले. It means the Britishers were forced to call all the rulers. Rulers means in the say the Rajas, whoever giving the highest bid बोली लगाता था, they were given the right to collect the tax. सभी को बुलाया गया था, जमींदार को, राजस को आते थे. It was not the continuous and fixed rate of income. क्यों? हो सकता था, पॉसिबिलिटी थी कि if this year if a bid has given a certain amount, next year it is not necessary that bid would be raised to that amount. It may be lower, it may be higher. जो एक बोली लगा दिया वो उससे नेक्स्ट ईयर का बिडिंग कम भी हो सकता था, ज्यादा भी हो सकता था. इट मीन्स देयर वाज नो एनी फिक्स्ड source of income. And this one, the British East India Company had to make many expenses, because when they were calling the zamindars to arrange them, they were finding it difficult because they were expending the money and their source of income was also not fixed. Lord Cornwallis, with one of his assistant, Sir John Shore, Lord Cornwallis with his assistant Sir John Shore formulated a new formula. First, he instead of giving the land revenue each year, he first made it for 10 years. 1787 में जब आए उन्होंने इस पर वर्क किया. Then the right to collect the revenue was given for 10 years. हालांकि हर साल नहीं देंगे. For how long it is to be made? It is to be made for the 10 years. But he changed, and in 1793 it was made permanent. So it is history. It is known as the permanent settlement. वो permanently हो गया. अब anyone who become the zamindar means permanent under the permanent settlement, they are called the new zamindars. याद रखिएगा, these two words will come, new zamindars and the old zamindars. Old zamindars जो पहले से जमींदार थे already, new zamindars who become the zamindar means कि who given the right to collect the land revenue. It was made permanent. If once become the zamindar, he would continue as the zamindar forever. ये permanently कर दिया. He had tried to increase the land revenue. For this one, he made the maximum possible high rate, introduced the maximum possible high rate to the farmers. Impose कर दिया, so that he can get a fixed income throughout. He was very happy that we are getting the maximum possible high rate land revenue. Zamindars were allowed to keep a certain part of it. He was allowed to keep 1/10th, 1/11th of it, and the rest were deposited to the British East India Company. Still, after depositions, they have the ample. The revenue which was not coming earlier, it means they were very happy. उस समय वो बहुत ही हैप्पी थे, बहुत ही खुश थे. क्यों खुश थे? Because they are getting the maximum possible land revenue. It was also made that this fixed land revenue cannot be changed in the future. फ्यूचर में नहीं बदला जा सकता. उसने इसलिए लगा दिया क्योंकि बाद में कोई हल्ला गुल्ला होगा तो हमको लैंड रेवेन्यू कम नहीं करना पड़ेगा. दैट्स व्हाई वन क्लॉज वाज रिटन कि once it has been fixed, it cannot be changed in the future, it will continue. So British at that time in initial stage we are very happy. चलो इतना पैसा तो आ रहा है, फिक्स है, एकदम रिलैक्स. Now we can purchase the Indian raw materials like cotton, like silk, even the jute, sometimes the indigo, wheat at the maximum possible rate from it and selling it to the British. It means first if we take the East India Company, initially they were in the benefit. Why they were in the benefit? Because they were getting the maximum possible land revenue. New zamindars means we can say it was the new one. What they were getting fixed income without any work. And third were the pigeons. And what happened to pigeons? They were the most sufferers. In the early stage, I am talking about in the early stage, East India Company were most benefited. Then new zamindars were getting without any work, उनकी income बढ़ गई. Then peasants were the most sufferers. Zamindars were made the real owner of the land. Means peasants who were the real owners, now they are not the real owners. If the peasants fail to pay the land revenue, then their land were confiscated, छीन लिया जाता था. वो land which were being used and cultivated by them from the generations. वो आज से नहीं, from the generations से they were using it. Now they have no right. If the zamindars failed to provide fixed land revenue that was fixed to them, their zamindari was also sold out. Generally, it used to happen that zamindar failed to pay the land revenue. Why so? Because the land revenue was fixed maximum higher rate. Farmers की condition देखिए. Farmers to pay his rent had to take the money as the loan from the money lenders, and the rate of interest was very high, and at lastly he was caught in the debt trap. Either he has to sell his land to the landlords, मतलब कि उनके पास कुछ नहीं बच जाता था. Zamindars, all the zamindars were not able to pay it off. Now, अब तो दोनों का तो हो गया. It was believed by the British East India Company that since it has been made the permanent, so the zamindars would pay more attention for the improvement of the agriculture. But it did not happen. Zamindars started settling in the city and leading a comfortable life, luxurious life. Zamindar साहब कहाँ रह रहे हैं? शहर में रह रहे हैं. They don't have any bother. They were not bothering for what? They were not bothering for the improvement of agriculture. इस बीच में एक और घटी जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को लगा कि हम कुछ गड़बड़ कर दिए हैं. That we have fixed the land revenue, it should not be done. क्या हो गया था? In between, the Britishers thought that the forest has no use. Forest का कोई use नहीं, we are not getting anything from the forest. So they started clearing the forest and brought the forest land under the cultivation. Forest बढ़ाया और forest land को किधर ले आया? They brought the forest land under the cultivation. They started producing wheat, cotton, jute, sugarcane. Wheat to 3 crops. Wheat. Why they require the wheat? They require the wheat to meet the industrial population of England. They require the cotton to meet the industrial demand, indigo to meet the industrial demand, jute for the packaging purpose. It means all these things they required. So they started clearing the forest. When they cleared the forest, the area under the cultivation increased. Area under cultivation increased. Who were benefited? The more benefit was to the zamindars, because more area, more land revenue, but they had to give a fixed amount to the British East India Company. Even though the land revenue increased, the prices of food grains increased, but East India Company were not benefited from this at all. Who were benefited? The most benefited people were the new zamindars. I am using the word new zamindars. And the new zamindars become slowly and slowly more powerful. And when we read about the revolt of 1857, in which we will find that new zamindars had supported the East India Company, old zamindar had revolted. कहीं पढ़ोगे तो कंफ्यूज नहीं होना, क्योंकि एक जगह लिखा कि जमींदार ने सपोर्ट किया था, एक जगह मिलेगा जमींदार ने विरोध किया था, लेकिन वर्ड लिखा होगा न्यू जमींदार। न्यू जमींदार, who were the new zamindars? These the new zamindars who were given the zamindari system in 1793 by the British East India Company, Cornwallis, and it was made permanent. In which area? It was confined to Bengal Presidency. Bengal Presidency means today's Bangladesh, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha. It was also extended to the Varanasi. ये वाराणसी में भी, वाराणसी is the part of the United Provinces. Now it is known as the UP. It was not coming in the Bengal Presidency. Other than the Bengal Presidency, it was applicable. It is also applicable in a few districts of the South India, but actually it was confined basically to the Bengal Presidency. And when we use the word Bengal Presidency, इसका मतलब not only West Bengal, it was the Bangladesh, West Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha. But permanent settlement was, other than the Bengal Presidency, it was in the Varanasi also. It was hoped that now the zamindars, means basically new zamindars, would provide and give more attention for the development of agriculture, and if the development of agriculture is taking place, they would get more income. Means British were also hoping, but they did not give any attention where they were living. They are living in the city with the luxurious life, but who were the most sufferer? Among them, the most sufferer were the peasants, who had to many times surrender his land. Why where to surrender his land? Because he was not able to pay the land revenue or rent at that time, which was fixed, which was extraordinary high. All the zamindars could not continue as the zamindars because their zamindari were also sold to another one if the zamindars failed to pay their revenue. It means one of the system in the North India, it was the permanent settlement. It was permanent settlement was not introduced in all the provinces of the British East India Company. The provinces part of the British East India Company was known as the Presidency. We will talk about in India at present the three presidency. One is the Bengal Presidency, one is the Madras Presidency, and we have the Bombay Presidency. Bengal Presidency we have talked about right now. Then we have the Madras Presidency and we have the Bombay Presidency. To one land revenue system which was devised by the Lord Cornwallis. It was in 1793. It was the permanent settlement. A permanent settlement was introduced in the Bengal Presidency. I have got it. Who were benefited, who did not benefited. One thing that was there, that it was made permanent and land revenue would not be increased in the future. When we talk about the another settlement to collect the land revenue, उसमें इसको हटा दिया गया था. It was made permanent, उसमें permanent नहीं रखा था. In the next video we will discuss about the another settlement to collect the land revenue. Till go through this video very carefully. Thank you.